all about sliding your trailer tandems, and a great little tool to help you on that if your handle doesn't stay where it should be. A couple of semis almost smash into each other trying to, after they pass me, because they're impatient going through Buffalo, and neither of them was paying attention. Also, a crazy dock this morning picking up some water in Scotia, New York, and more on this episode of
the Clutch Trucker Channel.
Clutch Trucker, filmed before a live and furry studio audience. That is Rusty, the world-famous meatball dog. Hey YouTube, Clutch Trucker here. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of the Clutch Trucker Channel. Alright, this is Thursday, the 26th of August. We're cruising along I-90 westbound here in New York State. Delivered midnight early this morning, or last night, however you want to look at it, at the Dollar General in Amsterdam, New York, and that actually went better than I expected. I was the only truck there at that time for a live unload. So they got me into a door fairly quickly, and within an hour and a half I was unloaded and empty, even though the lumber there was crap stone, as I call them, but they didn't charge anything. It must have been prepaid. So then I was able to get out of the door, go back to their staging area and park. I took Rusty out before I went in. And I made a little sandwich, and then got a few hours sleep before I had to get up this morning and go over and pick up my load at Adirondack Beverages in Scotia, New York. Load of water, seltzer water, go into a Sam's Club distribution center in North Canton, Ohio. So I'm going to be parking at the TA North Canton tonight. I've already reserved a spot. Reserved that yesterday once I got this load. It's only about 5 miles away from the delivery, so that'll work out well. And what I want to do mainly in this video is talk a lot about sliding the tandems. Somebody asked about that, if I could do a video about sliding the tandems, how you do it, how do you judge things. So while I was at Adirondack Beverages this morning, one of those places they make you slide the tandems all the way back. Generally, if you're picking up a heavier load, they tend to do that. So that way when they come onto the trailer with a forklift, they're right over the trailer tires, so they don't get a lot of this bouncing up and down. So anyway, I thought that would be a good opportunity to show that. Not only that, I had to start using my STA-RAT again, and we'll talk about that, what the STA-RAT is. But it does help you drivers who've got a trailer with handle that doesn't like to stay out, or you need to pull the handle out and wiggle it to release those pins. It'll help you do that as well. So we'll talk all about that. So like I say, it's mainly going to be about sliding the tandems on the trailer. So we'll dive back into history this morning and we'll take a look at that. Alright, I picked up here before Adirondack Beverages. This is a former military complex. Not set up for big trucks like this. Real tight. You have to disconnect once you get in the door. There's my trailer over there. This place is kind of a cluster mud. Former military base. I talked about that in the other video shot there. But they got me loaded quickly. They're all done. Now I just got to get my trailer picked up again. Then I got to go back over to where I initially checked in to get my paperwork. Somebody had asked not too long ago in one of the videos to do something about sliding the tandems. How do you do all that on the trailer? And this is one of those places that makes you slide the tandems back so they can load the trailer. So I thought this would be a good opportunity to show some of that. If I got to slide them back forward again, I'll use my app weight to check to see how it is weight-wise. And I have to use my STA-RAT, which you may not know what that is. Semi-tandem axle release assist tool. It's something my wife got me when I first started with Turquoise, and I had a rented trailer through Stoughton. And the handle on that one, go back on the trailer here. Come on, you mother scratcher. There we go. Oops. Phone flipped down when I hit the kingpin there. Do the tug test. Always do the tug test. Make sure your fifth wheel plate latch is closed over your kingpin. Anyway, the problem was on that trailer I was running, the handle wouldn't stay out. It wouldn't catch in its little catch. And so there was no easy way to slide the tandems without somebody else helping you. And she found this great tool called the STA-RAT. And I'll show you here on the video in just a second how it automatically holds the handle out for you. And I haven't had to use that in the trailer I bought for years now, except it just started, last week or so. The little catch on the handle when you pull it out fits into a little slot. Well, the slot is obviously worn now and it won't hold it anymore. It won't hold the handle out. So I started using my STA-RAT again. And like I say, we'll show you what that looks like and how that holds the handle out so I can slide the tandems, and we'll talk all about sliding the tandems. Climbing out of the truck, we'll hook back up again as far as the fifth wheel. And if you look underneath, you can see the handle goes all the way back in. I've done the tug test already. I'll hook up the airlines here in just a second. Landing gear is still down. You can see back here, you can see my STA-RAT sticking out. That's this little tool right here. It's got the red ball on it. And the idea is if you have tandems that the pins don't like to come loose, you can see up underneath there. See, there's one of the pins right there. Okay, it is in right now because the STA-RAT is holding my handle out. You see the handle has a little slot on it. Back there you can see that it's supposed to fit into that little slot, but it's worn and it won't hold it anymore. So this STA-RAT, this tool right here, if you push it on there, it holds the handle out so you can slide it, so it's like having somebody else help you. Alright, so we're all the way back. We need to move the tandems all the way forward. Then I'll check the applet and see where we're at. Alright, gotta get everything hooked back up. I always do the electric line first. Harder to do with one hand. Slide it in, you've got a catch. You can see right there. The door will touch over so that it won't come back out in theory. Alright, blue airline. Hard to do this one hand. Alright, it goes in place. Grab the runner line. Get it on. Okay. Almost forgot. It would help if I put the landing gear back up. Go back down. Well, up, technically, I guess. Gotta go in the low gear first because they loaded it. And we'll slide into the high gear. There we go. Alright, now we can spin her. See that coming up. If you're smart, you do your tug test before you put the landing gear up, so just in case you're not all the way connected, you won't end up dropping your trailer low to the ground. Alright. Back in this little cradle, we're good. Alright, well, I'm going to slide the tandems forward, but I also need to get out of this area here, because now, let me show you this. Now hooked back up to my trailer, you can see I'm sticking out in the middle of the freaking road here. So I need to get out of the way first. Alrighty, so put air to the trailer so it releases the brakes, release the tractor brakes. We're going to get out of the way here. Then I'll worry about sliding the tandems and checking the applet and all that. Alright. Say this is a former military complex. It wasn't set up to be a place for all these trucks and trailers. You can see you're always having to back into a dock from the middle of the road like this Volvo, this Timco up here is trying to do now. So I need to try to find some place handy to, yeah, sure, just come on forward there, jackass, to get out of the way to try to slide my tandems. My STA-RAT is holding in place, which is good. Alright, he's obviously going to go for that door to my right. So let me get further up here out of the way. And then we'll slide the old tandems. Too bad I don't have somebody else back there with a camera so you can see it actually sliding. But, you know, you saw where they were all the way back. Alright, this is fairly flat-ish in front of all these trailers right here. So, now I just got to put it in reverse, hold down my trolley brake. I'll put a little shot of what that is up in the window. That turns on just the trailer brakes so the tractor can move, and holds it in place so I can back it up, which I'm doing now. I'm looking at my mirror watching the STA-RAT. I want to go all the way back. Okay, that's all the way back. Now, I'll pull that STA-RAT out, and then we'll check our appway. Okay, STA-RAT's still in place. You can see now my tandems, oops, I'm covering the lens, are now, they were all the way in the back. Now they're slid about as far forward as they can go. You can see the pin right there ready to come out. Let's pull out the STA-RAT and I'll show you what happens with that. See, that pops out. Handle's now in. Alright. And to close the STA-RAT back up, now I gotta use both hands for this, where you put pressure on it and push it back down. Up. There we go. And then it has a little plastic tab that I put back on it. It was in my pocket right here, so that it won't pop open while it's in your side box going down the road. Now we got to close our doors. I'm just going to leave that right there. Watch Clutch Trucker on YouTube. Hey, who's that guy? Not be on level ground. The doors don't want to close all the way. You can see there's what they loaded in there. Seltzer water from Adirondack Beverages. And the other thing I found, every trailer is different, but on this one, every hole is generally about 250 to 300-ish pounds when you slide. So when you're doing your calculation to figure out how many holes back you need to slide it, I always average, like I say, about 300-ish pounds per hole. And the further back you go, of course, toward the back of the trailer, that puts more weight on the tandem, on the drive axles. Think of a teeter-totter. Further this goes back, more weight goes forward. I just keep my STA-RAT here in my side box. My toilet tank thing, by the way, there's my water pump, all part of my remodel. Well, unfortunately the ground wasn't level enough there. What pavement there was around that place was up and down. It's an old complex, or else you had to be on the dirt. So the appway does not work well in that situation. So I had to go on up the road to Fultonville. There's a new pilot up there at the same exit with the TA. Although it's still not the best parking, they didn't design it too well. But got on the cat scale there to make sure I could get it all worked out right. And like I said earlier, all trailers are a little bit different as far as how far apart those holes are where the pins come through. On this trailer, and this is just from doing it a few times, I figured out I can roughly count on 300 pounds per hole. So say your trailer tandems are overweight by like 1,200 pounds. Well, 12 divided by 3 is 4. So that would mean you need to move 4 holes back, or slide the tandems back towards the back of the trailer, 4 more holes, and in that way you could probably get the right weight. So then you can go ahead and scale, you find out you're 1,200 pounds over on your trailer, you go ahead and slide the tandems back 4 holes, lock the pins back in, then you go back on the scale and double check and see how you did. And that's kind of what you have to do. Sometimes it takes 2 to 3 times to do it right. Luckily the relays are only, I think, $3.50 now. They used to be only $2. Hell, when I started in trucking, they were $1. But of course, you know, everything's gone up. And they're $3.50. The initial weigh, I think, is $13.50, and then $3.50 for each reweigh. So if you can calculate most of it in your mind, hopefully you only have to do 1 reweigh, maybe 2. that's how you get your trailer tandems and your drive axle where they should be. If you don't know, your drive axle on your tractor and your trailer tandems can be a maximum of 34,000 pounds each. Your steers, typically 12,000 pounds, but because 34, and 12 would be 80,000 pounds. But your steers can actually be higher. I've got 16 ply steer tires. Most states go by the tire rating, which I mean, actually I could be a little bit higher, about 13,500 on my steers if I have to be. And most interstate highway systems, they just make it 20,000 pounds for a single axle is the way they talk about it, meaning your steers could actually be up to that if you had to. Sometimes your steers will be a little heavier. This truck has got a longer wheelbase, so the steer axle is generally below 12,000. So anyway, that's how you scale it out and you make sure you're where you should be. If you're over gross of a total of 80,000 pounds, well, you're screwed anyway. But if you're under the gross, where this one was about 77,700, if you can get the tractor tandems and the trailer tandems to scale out right, well then you're good as long as you're under 34,000 on each one. I do have the APU exemption for this truck because I have an APU, my auxiliary power unit, and I have the documentation now. When I did a video a while back about that, I didn't have the documentation. I found it. That proves my APU weighs about 450 pounds. So I can use that exemption, and that allows me to be an extra 450 pounds over, so I could be at 34,450 on my tractor tandems if need be. Yeah, that just chaps my butt. This little Tesla here to my right, and now he's speeding up. People do this to us all the time. They pass us because they don't want to be behind the big truck, get in front of us, and then slow down. So now I had to move to the left, and now he's slowing down again. Mr. New York State here cannot keep a constant speed. And I know you've got cruise control on that car. It can drive itself. Why don't you let the car drive instead of being such an ass wagon? So now I'm stuck out here hanging out in the left lane because he can't pick a speed. And now, as you can see, he's speeding up again. I'll move back to the right, and I can guarantee you it's going to slow down again. But I hate getting stuck out in that left lane. So people, when you're driving around a big truck, use your cruise control. I know most cars have it. Oh, now he's hitting the brakes because this guy's going off on the shoulder like a moron. As I've always said, that is one of the most dangerous things to do. If Sally needs her doll out of the back, or you need something out of the back seat, wait until the next exit. Don't pull off on the shoulder. It's just so freaking dangerous. When everyone's flying by you at 65 miles an hour and you're on the shoulder, all it takes is somebody not paying attention for a second and bang, you're dead. So, I throw that lesson out there again. Don't pull off on the shoulder. Wait until an exit or a service plaza or something. Well, we didn't know we'd be talking about that subject today, but there you go. And one other thing I wanted to touch on in this video, I got so many comments from people, complaints, when I showed the guy who took over an hour to get into the dock at Coca-Cola. Well, why didn't you get out and help? Why didn't you go help him? Why were you just complaining? Okay, for one, there were 2 other drivers helping him at the time. So a third is not going to help. 2, you really need to stay in your truck when you're getting loaded, if you can. And 3, the guy was obviously inept, and even with 2 other drivers helping him, there were so many opportunities where he was basically straightened it out and ready to back in, and all he had to do was back in, and yet he wouldn't. He obviously was just too frazzled. Something was wrong, and this is where he just needed to get out of the truck. And people were saying, well, yes, but you've been there too. You had to start. You had to learn. Yes, but there's a point. If I had been working on that dock for a half hour, I would have stopped. They had yard dogs there. If you don't know what yard dogs are, they're the little tiny short trucks that attach up to the trailers and move them around warehouses. I would have gone over to one of the yard dogs and said, look, I can't get in the door. I'm going to disconnect from my trailer. Please, if you could put it in the door for me, I'd appreciate it. I'll even give you 20 bucks if that helps out. I would have taken care of it that way. But, you know, this guy obviously just didn't want to get out of the driver's seat. I have personally backed in trucks into docks and in truck stops for other drivers before, many times. So I have helped many times. But like I say, he already had 2 other drivers helping him. And for all I know, they offered to do it for him, and maybe he wouldn't let them. I don't know. But I didn't want to be the 3rd guy now adding more confusion to the whole situation. What do you think? Okay, so all that out of the way. So here we are, yeah, like I say, on I-90 in New York State, heading back down towards Ohio. Deliver at the Sam's Club Distribution Center tomorrow morning at 8. Mark's already got me another load that picks up in Lisbon, Ohio, right near where White Stones is based out of. And I'll take that over into Paris, Illinois for a Monday morning delivery. Then they reload me at the exact same location and back to where I picked up in Lisbon for an early Tuesday morning delivery. So that'll all go on to this week. So this week actually should be overall a nice paying week. So we've had to run a little harder than he likes to run for that kind of money, but the rates are terrible right now. But at least overall I'm still making money is the whole goal. And so that is the kind of math, as I always say, clutch trucker likes to do. So we're all set for the weekend. That's nice. I got extra time to deal with stuff. My steer shocks have already gone bad. There's, if you watched that video a few months back, where I had them put on at the Freightliner in Huber Heights, Ohio, and I swore I'd never go there again. $200 an hour for labor to put on the shocks that I went there and picked up because they were cheaper there than buying them at a TA or Petro. Well, they killed me on the labor. So I'm going to pick up a set of Gabriels, which I like better than Monroes. I hate Monroes. Generally, I only get 50 to 60,000 miles out of my steer shocks. These Monroes didn't even make it 40. So I need new steer shocks. I found a Freightliner in Canton, Ohio. So after I deliver tomorrow morning, I'll go pick up those shocks. Then I'll go pick up the load. I've got a trailer tire I need to replace. Mark knows a shop he's going to send me to after I get loaded on Friday. Going to get the new... I've got a new trailer tire put on, or a recap or something for one that's just wearing badly. And I'm going to get the new steer shocks put on. And then I'm going to see if they can put on that fuel filter for me on the APU. Boy, this lane is rougher than hell. I got to get into the left lane. So I can get all that done. And then we have time. Both Mark and I both have loads that are going to give us time. So we're going to go out and have some dinner Friday night. Hang out a little bit, and then Saturday we'll both caravan as we're on our way to Illinois, because he's going the same direction. He's going to Kansas City. So and he wants to show me this Road Ranger there in Illinois that's got great breakfast burritos, as he said. So we'll get some of those Sunday morning. So it's going to be happening the rest of this week through the weekend. So we're all set. Nice to know everything's in place. And that's what's happening here in the clutch trucker world. Yeah, I've been keeping busy, but we're making money. These last couple of runs have been a little annoying. They're heavy ones, weren't paid all that great. Well, better than I was making before. But the next one I'm picking up for over the weekend that I have extra time with, it's a nice light load. Picks up and delivers at the same place. I mean, you can't beat that. When you have no deadhead, literally you're in the same dock where they unload and reload. That's nice. So, yeah, if you have any other questions about sliding the trailer tandems or anything like that, please put them in the comments. I'll try to get to them as soon as I can. If you have any more suggestions for videos, as always, put those in the comments. I know more people want to know more about being an owner-operator and whether you should do it. My short answer for that is not right now. Wait until things calm down and get a little bit better. The rates are terrible right now. But I'll tell you more about that, and I can mainly say, the main thing I can tell you about that is never lease a truck from a company you're going to be leasing it back to. Like, don't be a lease operator like for Prime or Swift or somebody like that. If you're going to try to be an owner-operator, do it all the way. Go out and get your own truck. Then lease back to the company. That way, if things go south, you can leave. If you're stuck into a lease with the company you're leasing your truck back to, they own you. You don't want that. That is not being an owner-operator. So that's the main thing I can tell you. We'll talk more about that in another video. I did one all about that a couple of years ago, but there's a lot to talk about on that subject. All right, before we go on, I do want to show you these two trucks. One Estes, and I didn't notice what the other guy was, but we're going through Buffalo. This was on my way out yesterday towards Amsterdam, and of course it's 55 through there. I'm the only one going anywhere near the damn speed limit, which is always the case, and this is why I've argued against the truck speed limiters, because then when you're going through 55 zones and stuff like that in work zones, the governed trucks are always the ones who end up speeding on through. So I get passed on both sides by me on with trucks, and then each of them tries to come back into the center lane without obviously paying attention and looking around, and they almost smash into each other. Now the clutch trucker zoom and slow-mo. All right, here's the truck that passed me on the left. Look to the right, there's Estes. The truck on the left has his right signal on. Estes got his left signal on. They're both trying to go around me back into that middle lane, and yeah, hello. They at least realized it at the last second there. Well, I did get my shower today at the Petro in Waterloo, but unfortunately it wasn't one of those blast you against the wall kind of showers. It just kind of dribbled out. I always hate that. You know, so you gotta do a big dance in there and everything just to make it fully wet. You know, and you put the shampoo in and you're like, hello, hello. But anyway, I got clean. See? So, yeah, it had been since Sunday, and yeah, pretty much if I hadn't got a shower today, somebody was getting hurt. It was going to be a frightening thing. Just before coming into Cleveland on I-90, I was heading southbound. Well, at that point, you're technically westbound. But on the eastbound side, whole bunch of disco lights. I'm like, what's going on here? And now the clutch trucker zoom and slow-mo. It's really hard to see, but there is a car flipped over in the median, and it's all tore up. All right, so here we are parked at the TA in North Canton, Ohio. It's a tiny little TA. But I've parked here quite a bit before. They have reserve spots. They got a couple over there by the fuel island that are kind of funky, and they got some over here in the first row, kind of close to the building, and then also close to the grass, and this is one I was aiming for. So of course we have the grass for Rusty, and I'm closer to the building, and I'm not on the end either. I also never want to be on the end. A little tip for you newbie truck drivers: yeah, never park on the end of the row, because somebody coming around who's not paying attention, there goes your hood. You always want to be a couple spaces in if you can, and if you can back up as far as you can too, that also helps. And I'm always looking for spots, for one, that have grass nearby for Rusty, two, that I can't get blocked in if some asswagon decides to make their own spot, and that's mainly it, you know. That's what I'm looking for. So I'm always looking for, first the dog, second make sure I don't get blocked in. I don't care how far away from the building I am, I usually seek out the ones further away. Tonight I'm actually close to the building, but there you go. Hey, I want to thank again Junior. I forgot to mention this in the last video or something, or the last couple. A couple, 3 videos ago where I talked about I got to have the Fazoli's there at that TA in Oklahoma City West. I love Fazoli's. He sends me a gift certificate for Fazoli's on my email at clutchtrucker@gmail.com. Junior, thanks so much for that. He had sent me one for Quick Trip, Q with a Q, not the K, that I haven't had a chance to use yet, but I acknowledge that. Junior, thanks for that. Boy, he's sent a ton of bacon strips. Connie sent some too. He's sent 4 bags of the dry dog food for Rusty. When I told you to say, I said a few videos back, a few weeks back, that I was having trouble finding it, and I had to order from Amazon. He ordered more, so we're set and stuff. He keeps sending me and Rusty stuff. That bag for the bike, which I haven't had a chance to try out yet. So Junior, again, thank you so much for being such a big supporter of this channel and supporting me and Rusty. We really appreciate it. And all of you who do comment and everything, do appreciate that. I want to shout out to John Hallgren again, who was kind of my mentor and helping me out when I was doing the whole remodel. And he's become a good friend. And I've never met him in person, but talked to him on the phone. And I've had a chance to talk to a lot of drivers and a lot of subscribers on the phone and so forth that I've met out and about on the road. So thank all of you. Really do appreciate that. All right, we deliver tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock at the Sam's Club Distribution Center. Luckily, it's only 5 miles away. I'm going to have to do a split tonight to make it work. But then we've got loads set up over the weekend. I talked about that earlier. And going to get some truck maintenance done. I always say, when I have extra time, take advantage of that time and do that truck maintenance if you can. Right, baby? Yeah. Well, thanks for tuning in for that. I know somebody had requested a while back talking all about sliding the tandems, so I hope that gave you some insight and info. And like I say, that STA-RAT has saved my bacon. When I first started with Turquoise and I had that rented trailer where the handle just would not stay. And now the thing that holds it on my current trailer is worn out and it's not doing that. So if I didn't have that STA-RAT, I wouldn't even be able to slide the tandems. So there you go. Yep, couple of ass-wagon truck drivers, and yeah, thank you, Junior, for all that stuff. You know, he keeps us in good stuff, don't he? Yeah, baby, thank you. Thanks for tuning in. Please subscribe. Please like and comment. I get to your comments as soon as I can. Sometimes it takes a few days because I'm a working truck driver. There's Clutch Trucker at Instagram, Clutch Trucker on Twitter, and as always, sniff that magic YouTube fairy dust. Clutch and Rusty, out. I had no idea that was your cab. I'm so sorry. How about I buy you a nice hot dog and a beer? I'm kind of picky about what I eat, you know. Well, just a hot dog then. I just, you know, I don't. Okay. Well, you let me know. I'm here. I got you covered. All right, he's poised and ready. No, come on. You're cheating. Come back down. Oh, there it goes. All right, now you got it. It's on the corner of your pet bed where it usually is there, silly dog. Oh, yes. Thank you. Love those bacon strips. Love them. And we still have another full bag at home that we haven't even gotten into yet, thanks to Connie and Junior. All right, ooh, there's that second one. Boy, you're all over that. Almost took my hand off, baby. You don't play around with them strips. No. All right, Rusty boy, you're all over it tonight. Yeah. All right, you get it all? I think you got it.